5 in the first quarter. Second quarter about to start at the Western Oval, and Footscray have a 10-point advantage over the Magpies. Grigic gets his right fist to it. Knocks it close to half forward. Stanfield grabbed too high.
Sawyers, he's ducked his head there, that fellow Stanfield.
Well, the umpires awarded a free kick to Barry Stanfield. You can see the centre circle just in the background there. A wobbly old punt kick. Krasiska tries to bash it clear. Wallace. Then Hassel's little kick. Russell leaves it for Francis. Kelly tries to get it back to Francis. Oh, Francis came out reeling. Back in there for Footscray was Southern. Then the mark taken by Hassel. Hassel for Collingwood. His kick lands at centre half forward. Cameron gets back to help the defenders out. The ball nearly rebounded for Buckley, but it's Hunter standing his ground, and his kick finds Scott West.
West at half back for the Bulldogs. Over centre wing. Hands to it Kelly, which spoiled Monkhorst. Hassel. Across the ground he goes. Chance there for Aaron James. Now Fraser, who's had a tough time with the first game of Johnson. Shocking looking kick. Buckley gets it back to Fraser. From wide out on the 50, a centering kick. Body work by Rocker. No mark. Front of the pack. Williams. Close. Great goal. From wide out in the pocket, Paul Williams, and the Pies within 4 points.
Yes, and Fraser only had one possession in the first quarter, and a great debut by Brad Johnson. And who could forget his smile in November when he was drafted by Footscray, the side he'd barracked for all his life. But that was a good goal, a snap round the corner to Williams, and I thought Rocker just a little bit unfortunate not to get paid the mark.
So play recommenced. Grigic favoured by the bounce, gets a good fist to it. Out in front of Beveridge, looking for the free kick, and he's going to get it. Gee, it was only a very, very slight tug of the jumper, but it certainly was there. And Beveridge from 50 metres goes in short. Good pass, good lead. Collingwood in front of Hassel. Hassel not happy, be careful. Could get 50 metres quite simply for that. Hassel questions the umpiring decision, but it's certainly the kick for Steve Collingwood.
Gee, I thought that tackle went on and on and on and was high. Probably worth 50.
Well, I think it might have been pretty close. Collingwood will kick from about 40 metres. Should get the distance. Pretty good kick by Steve Collingwood to goal. He's kicked his second. He becomes the second player for Footscray to kick 2 goals. Barry Stanfield and Steve Collingwood.
And better play by Luke Beveridge on that occasion, pinpointing the pass to Steve Collingwood. And it's so vital in football that you maintain possession, if either in attack or defence. Holding the control of the ball is the name of the game.
Back to a 10-point margin. Grigic out of the middle. Next touch vital. Free kick. Back to Osborne. Kick by Richard Osborne. Looking for Grant with Pert. Fraser. Has he found the boundary line? Johnson. He's quick. Fraser's quick, but I reckon Johnson matches him. Free kick to Johnson. Round the ankles. A Western Jets recruit. 18-year-old. And just 18 this week. Stanfield and Grigic. Now Ilya Grigic, who filled in so well for Scott Wynd last week when the Brownlow medalist went to the bench. Of course, Wynd isn't playing today at all. And Grigic took 6 marks in the last quarter last week. Gee, those gloves are good, aren't they, Jared?
Yeah, there was a bit of catching cricket balls, I think, Drew.
Ilya Grigic, who's the second leading goal scorer at Footscray this year behind Chris Grant. Looking for his first score today. 25 metres out, gets it. Handy break to the Bulldogs.
Yes, there would be some concern in the Collingwood camp because they have played reasonably well. They just haven't made the most of their opportunities, and Footscray appear to be getting goals more easily than Collingwood have been able to so far today. What do you think about the gloves, Robbo?
I'm a little bit with you. I think on a beautiful day like this, not a great need for it, but certainly we spoke to Guy McKenna about halfway through the year. I think you were having a chat to him out at the airport, suggesting that maybe it was an unfair advantage. But if a player can use them legitimately and get some assistance, why not?
Yeah, well, I think that they're valid, perhaps valid in wet, sloppy conditions, but really can't see the benefit of them today. And I guess it may become like a mouth guard was in my game. You know, I felt bare without them. Perhaps that's what the glove represents to Ilya Grigic.
6-2 plays 3-4. Footscray lead. Grigic doing a wonderful job in the ruck up against Monkhorst. Liberatore forces it forward. Underneath that, Beveridge. The tackle a little crude there coming from Brett James, and that's 50 surely. No. Well, he ducked the Footscray player. Footscray fans looking for it. But Beveridge is probably 1.5 kicks from goal. He realises he can't get the distance, so he bombs it in towards the vacant half-forward area. It spills for Richard Osborne. Krasiska onto his tail, but he's got a bit of pace and a bit of strength. Gets it to Atkins. Atkins goes for goal, and the Bullies lament. 2 behinds, kicked by Simon Atkins. Footscray progressed to 6-3, Collingwood 3-4. So the margin 17 points in favour of Footscray.
It's looking a bit dangerous. Kelly marks low down. Across the half-back line he goes to Watson. Brett James coming off for Collingwood. About to be replaced by Kerrison. Further across the half-back line, and Pert's left the goal square. Grant chasing. Kick by Pert to centre half forward. McCartney.
Yeah, great kick.
They're just about lookalikes, these two. They don't often pass the ball to each other. Full back to centre half forward. Monkhorst.
Been a good transition so far from Collingwood. Need to finish with a goal.
Rocker. Spoiled by Croft. McGuan. Inside 40. Away to the right. Offline for a behind.
And he was exasperated too there, Mick McGuan. Very disappointed in that performance. But well done from Gary Pert, showing good leadership, running almost to centre wing, delivering that ball excellently to McCartney. And what was impressive there also was the work done by Monkhorst to go from half-back to half-forward to bob up as another centre half-forward target.
Hawkins' kick was good. He found Croft. Croft kicks it down towards the wing, but Kelly in front couldn't take the mark. Spills for Liberatore. His pass is very good. Beautifully weighted for Beveridge to run onto it. Beveridge has got Johnson out to the left. Liberatore shorter still. Libber's got it. Handball. Looks for Scott West. Back to Liberatore. In a bit of a tight situation. Squeezes a punt kick, and it hits the behind post after bouncing inside the field of play. So it's a boundary throw in the left forward pocket for Footscray. They lead 6-3 to Collingwood 3-5. 16 points is the advantage. Atkins can't get clear, tries to get the hand pass clear. Then Grigic nearly forced it through for a score. It is eventually helped over for a rush behind to Footscray. Footscray 6-4, Collingwood 3-5. Margin 17 points in favour of Footscray.
Gary Purdy was still puffing after that last run up to centre wing.
Not much on offer for him either. They're very stagnant, the Pies. No one leading whatsoever, and Pert's got no one to kick to other than the long bomb.
So he goes in the direction vaguely of Kelly. Wallace does well to get in front. Atkins, well played. A hand pass in front of Liberatore, who tackles brilliantly. Kerrison, look out, here's Libber again. Kerrison somehow gets it out. Wallace, head down. That kick smothered off Fraser. Intercept here by West to Atkins. Back to West or Beveridge. Beveridge, just dispossessed there by Kelly. Krasiska under pressure, Collingwood. Kerrison walks the ball over the line. Now that is as deliberate. Yes, he's paid it. Deliberately walked it out. Dead set.
If they're going to do that, they've got to do it for everything like that.
Free kick, Johnson. Monkhorst defends well.
Monkhorst looking to attack on the members' side. He's got a player running for him. That's Mickey McGuan. The bounce should favour the Collingwood ruck rover. He's very close to the boundary line. It kicks very well with the left foot. Ball spills for Williams. Able to get out of that very tight area and then kick it towards full forward. And the mark is taken by Houghton. Well, Hawkins is not happy. Being held by the jumper. I think he might be trying to con the less experienced umpire there, Keith Callaghan.
He's had 300 more games than the umpire.
That's right. But still, the football is with Trent Houghton. And he could get a goal with his first kick in league football. Oh, it's a scrubber kick. It's been marked. No, it hasn't. It must have just gone across the line. And Steve Credieu took the mark, but behind has been registered for Collingwood. Kicked by Trent Houghton.
And he has waited some time to get his first game of league football. He's been named as an emergency or on the to be selected list about the last 6 weeks, and finally he bobs up for his first game.
Good mark by Southern. This kick too close to the boundary line for Osborne, and we'll have a throw in.
Luke Beveridge, Drew, has been a real live wire for Footscray in their forward pocket. Has had 2 opponents now. Kerrison coming onto the ground to try and curtail his influence.
Monkhorst gets it down. Wallace and Shaw, the opponents in the middle. Flipped over the top for Collingwood. There's Liberatore. Just gets a hand pass clear. Atkins, great vision. Wide to West. Not a great kick. Stanfield, good gather. Balks the hand pass. He's taken by Kelly. Ball and all. Free kick to Craig Kelly.
And that was a great example of a player keeping his eyes on the body and not being dummied by Stanfield wavering the ball.
Krasiska, rocker! Oh, terrific tackle there, and holding the ball. Collingwood free within goal-kicking distance.
It's dynamite, isn't it? I think you've got to give the player with the football a chance to get rid of it. And if the ball's hemmed in by the tackle, it certainly was a great effort.
It was a great body slam, really, wasn't it?
Well, it was nearly reminiscent of some of the great ones you see in Sydney by the rugby league guys. Which has been outlawed now, hasn't it?
The spear tackle has, yes.
Severio Rocker for goal number 3. Good looking kick. Yes. Plays 30.
And 10 scoring shots apiece, and I think that just about sums up the game. It's been very even. Both sides have been on top for passages of play. But I think Severio, whilst he did well to pin the tackle, you'd have to say a little bit lucky to be awarded the free kick.
Bounce back in the centre. Footscray by 10 points. Liberatore dragged to the ground. Monkhorst tries to get it to Russell. Russell brilliantly quick hands to Francis. Francis with the left foot kicks towards half forward. McCartney making a contest of it. He with Southern. McCartney through his legs has kept the ball in. Buckley's handball to no one in particular. Knocked away by Cameron. Finishes with Hunter. Hunter's high kick. Contest back near centre wing. Back goes Collingwood, contested there with Watson. His tap on was good for Osborne. Osborne throws it onto the boot. The torpedo punt kick has been marked by Grant. And the Bulldogs can breathe a sigh of relief because Osborne had how many opportunities for the handball, Gerard?
Well, there's certainly the quick one on, but he threw the ball onto his boot and fortuitously for Footscray. Or good play, I guess, from Chris Grant's behalf. He bobbed up with it. Now it's important now that he goes back and lines it up. He's decided to play on.
Well, he throws it onto the left foot, kicks right across the face, just squeezes it through for one behind in the finish for his first score of the day.
I often question players when they do run around like that. Yes, they certainly open up the angle, but they take away the ability to deliberate on the kick and just simply be able to kick the ball straight.
Kick by Pert towards the outer side. Monkhorst spoiled by Stanfield. The ball out of play. Monkey not too happy with the kick in by the looks of that. Bulldogs by 11 points. Pie started well. Should have been further in front. They kicked the first 2 goals. It should have been the first 3 or 4.
I can't work out how the umpire can decipher who is interfering with who in those ruck contests.
Collingwood coming back in the free kicks. They only trail 8-15. Here's Liberatore. He's nearly gone. Oh, high tackle, says the umpire. Advantage. It goes to Footscray. On they go towards the 50. Grigich got underneath the ball. Kelly. Kerrison. And Kerrison clears out of defence. Williams underneath the ball. Cretiuk. Osborne. Now a chance for Collingwood. He breaks inside the 50. Steve Collingwood. Oh, just offline to the right.
Exhilarating burst of speed there by Steve Collingwood. And when he's at his best, he finishes with a goal on those occasions. We've seen him do some beautiful goals over his career.
And the last time Footscray beat Collingwood was in 1990 when Collingwood kicked that famous goal at the MCG. The Pies have won the last 6 games.
That was the one I was thinking about.
It's certainly got the Footscray fans a little excited. The football up to the left-hand back end of the square, but the mark is taken by Cretiuk. Swings onto his right foot, kicks it across towards the wing, the opposite side of the ground. Krasiska really committed himself. Tony Shaw can get the hand pass clear to Monkhorst. In turn, Russell. Back to Monkhorst. He's going to get caught. Don't try and beat a Liberatore tackle. I don't think you'd be the first man to ever do it if you get through. Atkins, the kick towards full forward, out in front of Grant. The bounce important. Tries to get past Pert. Able to get his right foot to it. Oh, magnificent! Well, it was a build-up that wasn't promising very much at all, but Chris Grant, a wonderful goal. Footscray 7th, his first. The Bulldogs by 18 points.
And some players just simply have a sixth sense for where the goals are, and the ability to be able to kick goals is what makes recruiting officers drool, and Chris Grant certainly is one of those players. That was an instinctive goal. He didn't line them up, just went bang and through it went.
Stanfield in the middle. 48-30. Footscray by 3 goals. Johnson, number 33, has been very impressive. But this time he kicks out of bounds on the full and gives away the free kick.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a change there. Fraser's had 4 possessions, but 3 of those have been scrubber kicks, and Johnson clearly on front, in front.
Watson coming up short to McGuan. Kick by McGuan, dropped short of the 50. Was fortunate for Williams, who took the mark.
Stanfield now in the ruck for Footscray, and Grigg to centre half forward.
Rocker leads, but the kick doesn't reach him. Cretiuk got fingers to it. Goes to Croft, now Hunter. And Hunter will take a free kick. Croft, who's had a hard time with Sav Rocker. He's kicked 3 goals to Rocker. Interesting, the coaching. Cretiuk was such a star last week on Ablett and doesn't play at full back today.
And Croft, I think, kicked 6 goals in a game earlier in the season for Footscray. Hassel, no, it's Russell underneath that. Couldn't clear the football of that congested area. Damien Monkhorst, the last man to regain his footing. Footscray by 3 goals. 7.5 minutes left in the second quarter. And I guess a lot at stake for both sides. Francis does well. Gets a left foot to it. Gets good ground for Collingwood. Into the pocket, taken over by Croft and Rocker. And a boundary throw-in will take place about 30 metres around from the Collingwood goal. The Magpies, Severio Rocker has kicked 3. McCartney, chance for Buckley, tackled by Hunter. Little kick to his own advantage by Francis. Gives away a little bit of ground. Too severe, that handball for Russell. Gee, strong at that butt was Richard Osborne. Bounce awkward for Kelly. Watson. And the mark is taken by Kerrison. Footscray fans appealing for a play-on decision. Kerrison does that. Bombs it in towards full forward. Rocker got his hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. Hunter, well done. Vision. And the little kick. Terrific to set it up for Cameron. The Bulldogs are away.
Kick by Cameron. Grigich at the back. No mark. Collingwood roving, but grabbed by Watson. He goes wide to Kerrison, who's done all right since he came off the bench. Kerrison behind centre wing. Buckley just inside the boundary line.
He's been a little bit quiet this quarter. Had 7 possessions in the first and looked dangerous, but only 2 possessions in the second quarter.
Fair distance inside the 50. Croft punches down. Past Fraser it goes. But he comes back for a second chance at it. Here's his nemesis Nicholson, and the ball, Johnson rather, and the ball goes out of play. Just under 6 minutes to half time, and the Bulldogs leading by 18 points.
Boundary throw in, right half forward for Collingwood. They kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. They've only managed 2 goals so far in this second term. Punched away by Steve Wallace from Tony Shaw, and Wallace.
It's been a 0-0 draw, that one, since Wallace went on the shore. They've only had about 3 possessions between them since the early part of the first quarter, when Tony Shaw had 4 quick touches on Doug Hawkins.
Very good negator is Steve Wallace for Footscray, over 200 games. James Kelly can't get past. Oh, look at this guy. He's a tiger, isn't he? A tiger in Bulldog colours. The free kick has been extracted from all that, and it's going to Hawkins. Smile on his face, so I'd suggest Doug was up to a little bit of skullduggery in there somewhere, and came out with the free kick. Watson takes the mark between wing and half forward. Short kick, looks for and finds Buckley, and Buckley probably too far out to score. Kicks in, oh, terrific. He waved him on, asked him to lead in there to Russell, kicked it to him, but Russell couldn't quite get it. Hunter kicks it back to Osborne. Osborne handball over the top. Good running from Scott West. His kick, rather ordinary by his standards, but terrific play by Collingwood. Gets it out to West. West runs up to the 50 and then unselfishly kicks it in towards full forward, where the mark is taken by Beveridge, and he's only 30 metres out directly in front.
Brilliant footy.
It really was a game of inches on this occasion, because Scott Russell was at full strength. He did almost enough to be paid the mark at one end. It was only an inch or 2 away from it. And all of a sudden it's gone down to the other end, where a pinpoint pass from Scott West has just found Luke Beveridge. So it could be a 2-goal swing.
Well, Beveridge is yet to kick a goal. He should kick this, and he does. Beveridge kicks his first goal, and Footscray get their biggest break. 24 points with 4 minutes left in the half.
Well, it was only a matter of time before Luke Beveridge goal. He's been an excellent player for Footscray this afternoon. A couple of times things just haven't quite come off. What a great passage of play there. A lone hand by Collingwood to set up West. Just held a couple of players, which created the loose man. And with plenty of space on the forward line, Beveridge just bobbed into the middle.
Well, Grigic actually that time beaten in the ruck, with Houghton going in there. Francis on the turn up towards half forward. Atkins, little toe poke at that. Wallace grabbed by Shaw. Ball spills out. Liberatore bowled over. The umpire is going to ball it up here.
And Damien Monkhorst is just having a rest in the forward pocket. A ploy that Lee Matthews has often used, and would be hoping for him just to bob up with a goal before half-time.
Houghton was a ruckman in the VFA with Preston. Comes to Francis. To half forward, a push out. Footscray free kick. They really are getting the run of the frees. It's now 18-9. Cretiuk to Southern. Danny Southern waltzing the ball across half-back. 3 minutes to go to half-time.
And Croft takes the mark on the opposite half-back flank from where it all started. A high kick as Stanfield and Monkhorst have a dust-up. Big Ilya Grigic has taken the mark. Handball away to West. The kick by West towards half-forward. Grant goes underneath it. Back goes Kerrison. Hassel in a little bit of trouble. Taps it on, really to the advantage of Grant. Now Houghton gets the handball wide for Fraser, but a bit of misunderstanding there. Johnson, well done. Taps it to Beveridge. Beveridge off the left foot. Gee, it was close. Through for one behind. 1 goal, 1 for Luke Beveridge. 8-7 plays 4-6. So Footscray are 25 points in front, close to half-time.
And a change from Collingwood. Tranquilly coming on for a run, and Trent Houghton, I think it was, having a rest. Was it James? Aaron James coming off the ground.
Footscray 25 points in front. Pert finds McGuan at centre half-back. McGuan to centre wing. Just on the ground, Tranquilly. Good mark. Well, his highlight was 6 goals against the West Coast Eagles in a boil-over at the MCG. And he works well here with Watson. Watson straight to full forward, Monkhorst. Second grab by the man from Fish Creek, Barry Stanfield.
And the law firm of James and Sharkey on the bench for Collingwood. But they've just split that because Brett James has come on. As Footscray get the ball out towards the wing. Steve Wallace spins out of trouble. A little bit of fresh colour in the hair, Steve, by the look of that. Scott West in the centre of the ground. Kick towards half forward. Terrific stuff, Hassel. Brilliant. He was in trouble if he missed it. Away to Watson. Watson to Buckley. Buckley's got to play on quickly, but there's no one to kick to. He's going to have to go in the Rocker direction. Rocker leads, then he goes back in towards the centre of the ground. Krasiska has run from half back. Kicks blindly. Footscray will mark this. No, Croft missed it. Monkhorst goes back on all fours. Gets the handball out. Francis and Williams, a misunderstanding. Francis takes it, kicks it across his left shoulder, and registers just one behind. And I think I heard you say, Gerard, about how the battle has been there for Collingwood to kick goals, whereas Footscray have been able to set it up a little bit better, and their goals have come much more easier than Collingwood's.
And that really can weigh heavily on you as the game goes on. The intensity and the work rate it requires. Collingwood's expending so much energy for not enough result. And even on that occasion, the misunderstanding between Williams and Tony Francis possibly cost them the goal.
Gets to the back of the pack, but Stanfield couldn't pick it up and accidentally socked the ball out of bounds. Throw in centre wing. 55 seconds to half-time here at the Western Oval, and Footscray have come from behind to lead 8-7 to 4-7. Cotton out to Krasiska. Tranquilli spoiled from behind. Tranquilli in again. Second effort good then, and forces the ball up. Collingwood had only 13 players on their list to pick today for the reserves team. So if you walk past and you had black and white in your clothing, you nearly got a game today. Kelly. Scott Russell works into the 50. A goal before half-time would be a bit handy. Williams. McGuan to Francis. He's inside the 50. Oh, he blazes for goal. Disappointing that. Croft takes the mark.
And he runs on with the football. Well done, attacking football there from Croft. Wallace shrugs the tackle from Tranquilli, and the ball spills over for a throw-in. So a real struggle for the Magpies. 2-4 at quarter time, 4-7 so far. Just a boundary throw-in will take place, and the siren should sound. There it is, to signal the end of the first half. At half-time, Footscray lead by 4 goals. They're 8-7, and Collingwood are 4-7.